are headed to where I train. I'm going tonight to get one last training session in before I leave for the Tournament of Nations. A little tune-up. James will be there, as well as the Medford Strikers and Universal Soccer Academy. I trained on those fields when I was a little girl, and now here I am back at the fields. Growing up in New Jersey, I kind of grew up in a small town, Delran, New Jersey, and it's kind of that blue-collar mentality, chip on the shoulder, stubborn, and just tough, you know, and I think I've kind of always been like that. This was actually the first meeting I had with James. He had brought me out to the school, and we did an evaluation, and I had to run around the track, and I was absolutely shattered, so unfit. It was embarrassing. When I was younger, I had a very hard time taking and accepting criticism. I didn't like to be told I was wrong. And when James first came into my life, he just had a way about him that he could directly tell you what you don't do well. But you say to yourself, okay, that's all right, but now I'm willing to get better. How do I get better? When we first started out together, he would be there, and he would be there to comfort me and, you know, hey, we're gonna run, you're gonna do 10 sets of it, and you're gonna take a break, and then you're gonna do another 10 sets. And he would be there with me from start to finish. Then as years went by, suddenly he said, oh, you know, I can't make it to the field, but here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna set yourself up, you're gonna set the cones up, and this is what you're gonna do. And I'm like, but wait, why aren't you coming? Well, he was trying to teach me a lesson. No one is gonna be here helping you score a goal, score a hat trick in a World Cup final. It has to be me.
I wanted her to feel some ownership here. I wanted her to go out and do some stuff on her own, so that way she doesn't feel like it's me and her on the journey, that really it's her. I'm just guiding. It's really up to her. She's the one that's on the field. She's the one that's got to battle it out. She's got to realize that this is her journey. Go.
My talent, my raw talent got me to a certain point, but I was always labeled as kind of the girl who had an amazing amount of talent, but was lazy and wasn't fit and wasn't coachable. And I never really figured out how to persevere through challenging times. And when I met James in 2003, he taught me how to become a fighter and to back it up. He taught me how to not point the fingers at my teammates, but to look within myself and say to myself, okay, what can I do that is going to be able to allow me to persevere through this situation?
She's done everything I've asked her to do. I've put her to run in minus 20-degree weather. She's ran in 100-degree weather. She's trained 6 hours a day. She's done triple days. She's the one that put in the work. And I know she says we, but at the end of the day, she's the one that rolls up the sleeves and goes out there and fights.
If it weren't for James, we wouldn't be talking about any of this. There would be no gold medals. There would be no Ballon d'Ors, World Player of the Years, Olympics. There would be none of that.
That's better. That's better. Much better.
While Galanis appreciates the acknowledgement, he attributes Lloyd's success to her unmatched focus and endless commitment to the game.
Oh boy. The type of person I am, I'm a perfectionist, and the older I've gotten, the more I'm realizing that I can be a perfectionist, but I also have to embrace the journey and enjoy it a little bit more. I think I've gotten so fixated on, you know, what am I doing tomorrow? What am I doing the next day? What am I doing a month from now? What's 6 months from now? And I'm definitely living more in the present. I'm enjoying every single day. In a blink of an eye, you know, I've gone through all of these years of my career, 3 World Cups, 3 Olympics, so many days on the training field, and it's crazy to me. It's crazy to think that, you know, here I am at 36, I've accomplished all that I've accomplished, I have a couple of years left, but I want to enjoy it, and I don't want to let any single person steal that joy from me anymore. Yes, there's the critics. Yes, there's the naysayers. Yes, there's the people who maybe don't think you deserve to be on the team or whatnot. I'm not out here to prove it to anybody else. I'm out here to prove it to those that have seen me work tirelessly. Those are the people that I'm fighting for, and I'm obviously fighting for myself as well.
Lloyd's story is filled with fairy tale moments, but also unforeseen obstacles. After spending most of her storied national team career as a starter, she finds herself in a new role, one off the bench. But like every challenge Lloyd has faced in her book of life, she plans to pen a different ending.
You know, I always love the tough, challenging tournaments, and we're ready to rock and roll. I'm suddenly finding myself in a different challenge. I'm coming off the bench more often with the national team, and there isn't a day where I'm gonna stop fighting. I feel that I'm smarter tactically. I feel that I'm fit, sharp, and kind of in a different place, you know? Probably the first time in my career where I can kind of take a deep breath and trust the process and embrace the journey and wait for that moment and that opportunity. I know that with each phase of my career, I've set the bar higher and higher and higher, and if you fall below that bar, suddenly everyone hates you. Suddenly everyone thinks you don't belong on the team. Suddenly, you know, you're not scoring hat tricks, you're maybe going 4 or 5 games without scoring. Suddenly everyone questions, why are you still on the national team? Because maybe they don't see all the goals and the assists and all the stats that every person in this world is driven by. Sometimes you can't look at stats, you know? Sometimes you have to look at the person that's grinding it out, or the person that maybe is tactically taking their game to another level. I know that I bring a unique ability to this team, whether people want to see it or not. You know, if I go score 5 goals in a World Cup final and we win another World Cup, suddenly all the people that have hated me are now gonna like me. People don't realize that life is a journey, and in order to keep continuing to break those barriers, you have to go through this development stage and, ironing things out. I'm in that developmental stage so that when 2019 and 2020 roll around, it's all instincts, and my instincts kick in and everything takes over. So that's my challenge now. My challenge is to not be a bench player, because when crunch time comes, when there's 70,000 people who are booing you and chanting and cheering for the other team, and when all of these other teams are ready and sharp, I know that I'm gonna be needed. So yes, I have another challenge, but doesn't that make the story that much greater? If I end by persevering through all that I have persevered in this final phase and come out on top, there might be another book.